Hello again, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day or evening, depending on where you are and what time zone you're in. Tonight, I want to share with you some thoughts about value of your girl. But before we attend to that and discuss that, let's talk about what is value. What is value of things or whatever it is in life, as far as it can relate to our day to day life and day to day happenings. What is a value? Well, I think value in has many different possible explanations, but in this particular um, example, let's talk about, let's say, in general, what is the value? Value, for example, if we want to consider a diamond ring or a diamond, the value of that diamond could be won by the appraiser studies, appraising studies, and appraiser of jewelry can appraise the diamond or the diamond ring or the jewelry and tell you what the value it is as far as appraising of it. Well, that's one definition or one way of finding out the value of something. But the real value of that very ring that the appraiser has given it a certain amount or a certain price, certain value, the real value of that thing, really, I believe, it's not known until somebody steps forward and wants to pay for it. Then we have a value. Otherwise, the value of a ring, let's say, I don't know, 5 carat ring on your finger or a diamond necklace around your neck or your girlfriend's neck, of course, or your wife's, or if you're a lady watching this on yourself, the value of that particular jewelry or diamond is really zero until somebody wants to buy it, wants to pay for it. Then we have a real value rather than what the paper of the appraiser indicates. And for that is pretty easy, really, to guesstimate or estimate or appraise or even, find the real value of a diamond ring or a diamond because it is already apparent and known what it is in its entirety. It's a diamond, it's a precious stone, and its value is very clear for its character. It's very clear. Its quality is very clear. What it is very clear. There's no doubt about it. It's not like something you'll find out later. It is very apparent. It's clear. This is the value of this diamond. This is what the diamond is. That's how it looks. It is definitely a diamond. It's known. And therefore, there is no questions to be answered later on. Nothing to be found about it later on. Right that very moment, you know exactly what it is. All of it, inside out. Therefore, the value of it is very clear, either by the appraiser or by the real value when somebody comes along and offers a certain monetary value or bartering value to it. But you can't have the same kind of an equation when it comes to a value of a person. First of all, we all know that we cannot really value a person, man, woman, or by monetary amounts, because we're now talking about a human being, and its its value is like priceless. Its life, its value is priceless. So that's not what we are trying to get at. What we're trying to get at is that when it comes to a value of a person, everything about that person, if we just try to compare it to a product, which is, of course, we all know it's not comparable, but for the sake of argument, to show the point here, to get the point across, in the case of a person, that person's characteristics and its what it is composed of, it's not really known like the diamond is, that everybody knows is a diamond, its history, its background, its um, what it is and its uses and all the other characteristics about it. But a person is really unknown, so you can't put a value to the person. Granted? Do we agree on that? So then, answer me, please, especially you younger friends of mine. Why is it that when you meet a girl, you value the girl on the basis of one thing, or at least on the basis of only part of what you can know about this existence, and not really waiting to know everything about that person inside out to give it a value? But you give a value right away by the way it looks. Look, as we said, we're not comparing things with human beings, but to get the point across, if it was a diamond, even though you know it's a diamond and it's precious stone and all the other history about it, you still make sure that the appraiser looks through it, finds out if there is any, I don't know, ice in it, any lines through it, any, what is the clarity level of it, what is the color of it. All these makes, even though the diamond is already very clear to see it, but you still exercise this to find out its real value. However, when you see a woman, when you see a girl, as long as she's got the physical part or the apparent physical attributes clear to you, or it's to your taste or palatable to you, let's say, or you like it, you stop your search. You stop searching for other attributes that you need to know for sure to know the real importance and the value of that person in your life. You suddenly, all of a sudden, without knowing everything, boom, you give it the highest value that you can because she's pretty. Because, I don't know, the way she's dressed or the way she carries herself. I don't know, whatever attributes you want to put, physical, on physical notes, that's what you conclude your final value. Isn't that odd? Isn't that incomplete, that appraiser of yours? I mean, for God's sake, a product, you go through so much to see and find out its real value by examining it, testing it, having a specialist look at it, this and that, so forth. But when it comes to your heart, when it comes to your relationship, when it comes to a woman, when it comes to your girlfriend, you don't even wait for a few years or a few months, or to get to know how she thinks, how she talks, how she behaves, how responsible she is, how kind she is, how unselfish she is, how concerned she is about you, about herself, about how she treats herself, how she treats you, how she thinks about the world and what she feels about how the world affects her, and how she shows that, and all the other things that you will find out in time about someone and not right away. But you don't wait for that. Most important, one of the important things in your life is your heart, is your emotions, and is your who's taking care of your emotions, who's affecting you the way they do, who's going to be your girlfriend. But you stop and it looks good. Well, cubic zirconium looks pretty much exactly like a diamond, but it is not valued as the same as diamond. Why? Because the looks are not really what determines the value of most things, especially when it comes to human being. You cannot put a value on the, you cannot put a total value of a person's worth and its importance by the way that person looks. But yet, most you boys and girls make this silly uh, oversight, which then you all pay for it a little later on because you put your hopes high, you treat it as, and you put it in your mind as you've accepted this the most valuable thing or highest value that you could give it without really knowing everything about it. And then your mindset is for that. And again, you've created a perfect thing for yourself in your mind. And then you'll be shocked a little later on and you'll be hurt and amazed. Why me? How could it be? It's impossible. I'm shocked. I'm hurt. Well, your appraiser was wrong. Therefore, your choice was wrong. Your expectation was wrong. You have no right to be shocked. You have to be reasonable. Again, remember, we are not trying to compare a product, jewelry, automobile, whatever, to a person. But in order to get the point across, think about it. Would you go to buy a car and it looks good, and then you expect the engine also do exactly what you want to do and is perfect for what you want to do, and how fast it goes, how reliable it is, how sturdy it is, how tuned up it is, and everything else? No, the look of the car really has nothing to do with how safe the car is, how it performs, how it can help you to negotiate through your life and your needs, and how how it interacts with you, the car, how it is a help to your life or a burden every morning when you want to go to your car and go to your work and it doesn't work, and so on and so forth. So just to get the point across, you can now think about it. Then how is it that only the look of a person, which is far more important than your car, for God's sake, suddenly that's enough for you to make a choice, and then you're shocked later on? Well, then it is logical to expect and to recommend not to put your expectations and your value judgment on the physical attributes of anything, especially when it comes to your friends, girlfriends, or if you're a lady, boyfriend, anything else. If that was the case, as soon as a child is born and he or she is, good looking, cute, then that should be the end of any training of showing and teaching him or her the appropriate education, or getting ready for life and sports and training of mind, training of body, all of that. So they should stop, because that's all there is. But we know that's not what life is all about, and nothing in this world has been created because somebody was pretty. That person, whoever it was created, whatever they created, must have been smart, educated, or inventive, or calculating and all that, so forth. So for the same token, we must remember how we value our loved ones, or the ones that we want to share an important part of our life, or special moments of our life, whether it's a simple friendship or relationship, or at the right time, marriage, for God's sake. So I guess understanding how we value and where the value is. Is it the look of the person that makes you really happy when you get up to go to work, or when you call her, or when you share something that happens in your life? Or is it the way she reacts and interacts with you and gives you that energy, and the understanding mannerism that she may have, the philosophy that she runs her life by, and the way she interacts and responds to your needs, or your stories of success or disappointments that you may share with her? And Is that what makes you feel good and energized and hopeful, or just the look, but nothing else is there? She can't communicate with you, she can't connect with you, she can't make you feel hopeful, she can't make you be your friend when there is something wrong, and so on. And you should be, of course, the same for her. It goes both ways. So if you understand, anything that you're looking for cannot simply have one criteria: a good looking girl. That's why you should be wise and you look for substance, value correctly, expect value from valuable. You can't choose on the basis of physical attributes and then expect the engine to work perfectly or have proper connections. Uh, you will always get used to everything, including people, but if you haven't been able to connect with them on the emotional basis and intellectual basis, there is really no value to that physical appearance that you gave it such a high value to begin with, because then it's not so novel to you anymore. It's not so um, new to you, let's say. Because anything physical, by time you get used to that look, because it's just physical. Its effects are skin deep. It's just a visual image. There's no character off of it. So it's similar to the saying, like, I have this pomegranate pieces that has taste and color and texture and vitamins and nutrients. But then there is another one that is artificially made out of plastic and looks exactly just like it. It's red, it's shiny, it's beautiful. You can even make a mistake and think it's real and put it in your mouth. But it has no texture, no taste, no vitamins, no juice in it, nothing good about it. It's just the looks. So how do you expect it to do what you're hoping for, to benefit from it and to be able to interact with it? And the same if we reverse the situation for the girls, for the ladies. And you should be a person of substance as well. Remember, ladies also are not looking for just looks, maybe again for a moment or two, or a day or two, or maybe, I don't know, a few weeks, but they also look for substance. The good girls, I mean, the girls who are smart, they're looking for substance. They're looking for someone who can provide for them, maybe, if they choose to be a homemaker, or they choose to have that kind of a lifestyle. Or in any case, even if they have a career themselves, they still would appreciate someone who is capable, educated, to positively provide and able to have other attributes and smarts and educations and so on and so forth, than other attributes than just these things, other attributes than, other attributes like smarts and education, so forth, other than, and not just the physical appearance. You can have a sports car, you can have money, and you can have, I don't know, chic clothing and all that, but the lady also, after a while, just finds you empty, because if you're young, well, where did the car come from? From your mom and dad. So you really didn't deserve it, didn't make it yourself. So she knows that. She knows that it's not your doing, it's not your abilities, it's not because you're educated or you are certainly active in business, positive businesses, and able to provide. These are all just came to you. Now, if you have money, but you can't communicate with her, you can't make her feel warm and protected and understood and communicate properly with her, it wouldn't go anywhere. Pretty much nothing physical can create a deep connection. It just can create a connection, but nothing deep. it's such a short-lived connection that it's nothing to count on or to build anything on. It's like a shallow grounds. You can't build a high rise on. It just goes down. Maybe holds for a few days, but then boom, no. So the ground must be really strongly prepared for building something of substance on it. So the same thing in a relationship, you need inner connections to be bonding and worthwhile, to be strong enough and to be interesting enough, compatible enough to be able to build on that premises, build on those characteristics. So it is wise to always consider all these and understand what real value is and how to appraise the value properly, and then, see if you can make a relationship between the two of you. We all talk about freedom in our world, but let's really examine freedom goes beyond what its dictionary meanings are. Let's focus a little closer. Freedom really is you not being a slave of your desires, your shallow expectations of life, your ego, your shortcuts that you want to take to show to a bunch of people around you that you're somebody when you're really not. You cannot claim you're somebody if you haven't worked for it, what it takes to be somebody. And that somebody means to be expert at something that you like to do, and you're helpful, and it's positive, and you're educated, and you're working, and you're decent, and you're responsible. These are things that gives you that freedom, and your choices, the way you make choices of a friend or a girlfriend and so on, is also a way that guarantees your freedom. Otherwise, you're a slave to your what? To your ego, to your desires. And one of the worst way of living is to be a slave of your desire. Desires could be many things. Maybe desire for, I don't know, drinking. You can't control it. Well, you're a slave to that. You're not controlling your life, or it is controlling you. You allowed it to become a controlling factor in your life. Therefore, you're not a free man. So let's understand what real freedom is. There are different meanings for freedom. One, we all know about democracy and freedom and all that, so forth, with the political end of it and the human rights end of it. That's all clear for us. But personal freedom is when you are in control of a positive life, which means you're not slave of negative habits. Smoking, you can't stop it. Well, then you're slave to it. You're not free. Your desires, I want this girl, and I want it for any cost, because I'm nothing myself, but if I have this beautiful girl, then everybody thinks I'm somebody. So therefore, I want it. Shortcut to make it look like that you're somebody. And to who? To a bunch of other shallow people around, that their level of understanding or appraising or value is if they are with someone pretty, then that's all it matters, and that means they're accomplished, and therefore you're trying to kind of show off or be accepted among those kind of people. And that's why you think, oh, I want a pretty girl. Go for the actual value that has made that pretty girl that you're looking for, that girl. Beauty is not a long-lived if it's only skin deep. You must have value for yourself before you can actually look for value somewhere else. If you don't understand what value is, then there's no difference for you between cubic zirconium, diamond, or piece of glass or plastic. First, understand what value is by making yourself valuable, by understanding goal setting, by understanding responsibility, by understanding ambitions to succeed in positive ways in life, by educating yourself, by getting experience something, by being disciplined, by not giving up on things that you need to achieve, which will carry you through the future and give you the kind of life that you expect. Not that you want something and you're really serious about it, but really that something is really not going to do anything for you for future. Just right now at this age, you really, really like it. Okay, that's great. But there has to be a limit to that, because part of the responsibility is to understand how you're spending your ambitions, your desires, your plans, and what you're spending your time on, and how you're really preparing yourself to become stronger and have the kind of life that you really want. You know, that nice car, that nice house, and that wonderful family. All of that can be yours, but only if you understand how to prepare and train yourself and spend your time on. So I'm talking about you understanding how to set goals, how to be responsible, how to do your duties, how to close your eyes on what is really a desire but really is not necessary for your success. It's a desire that you really want, but it's not something that you really need to be happy. Just walk away from things that are negative and bothers you. Remember, if it's pleasurable what you feel, well, good. If it's painful what you feel, then walk away from it. Simple. And go put your life and time and efforts into a positive, strong life and be free in all counts and be successful by building yourself from grounds up, from inside, with all the things that you know we've talked about it you got to do, and then you can build a wonderful, magnificent, luxurious, humongous, and advanced building on you being the grounds that you want to construct this building, and the building being your life. Anyhow, I hope that was something that you can ponder on. And now I'm going to get back with my pomegranate. They say it's very good for you. Have a nice evening, guys and girls, if you happen to listen, and hope to talk to you soon.